Monday Night Raw is happening tonight, and we have some huge things that are happening, like Roman Reigns kicking off the show. We also have the return of CM Punk. Yes, CM Punk hasn't been seen since his win with AJ Lee against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins at WrestlePalooza. So we do have to beg the question of what is next for CM Punk. Now, I ask that you guys stay tuned for this video because we are going to be talking about all things Monday Night Raw. But guys, my name is Billy TKO. If you guys have yet to do so, definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel because when you guys subscribe, we go to a different stratosphere. So without further ado, let's just go hop directly into the video. All right. So yes, guys, Monday Night Raw is taking place tonight, and it is happening at its normal watch hours, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for me, which if you're on the Pacific, it's probably at 5. If you're on the Central, it is probably at 7. But you are going to get it at normal viewing hours. Now, how long this will last? Not 100% sure. Don't necessarily know because WWE is heading over to Australia for Crown Jewel that is taking place in Perth this upcoming Saturday. I don't know necessarily what their schedule looks like, but for tonight, you are going to get it at your normal viewing hours, which will be nice for a lot of people. Now, guys, I want to talk about Monday Night Raw because obviously there are a lot of things to talk about. One of those things being that Roman Reigns, yes, is back for the 504th time. I'm not even exaggerating. Roman Reigns has made his 54th return to the WWE, but this time he's back from filming his movie Street Fighter. He actually made it back a little bit later than Cody Rhodes did. Cody Rhodes made it back because, you know, champions' duties. You got to hurry up and get back, right? So he is done filming the anticipated Street Fighter movie, and it does look like he is going to be placed in a pretty big storyline that is currently taking place on WWE TV. And what is that storyline, you might be asking yourself? Well, that storyline is no other than him and Jey Uso. Yes, him, Jey Uso, and don't let me forget Jimmy as well. In Jimmy Uso, the original bloodline, what is happening? What is taking place? Last week, we seen the return of Roman Reigns, and he came out and he gave Jey Uso a hug, and he was giving him this kind of speech saying, like, it's just you, Us. You know, these are some of the things that you have to do to get to the championship, and it looks like Roman has officially got into Jey Uso's head. Now, this is interesting, right? Because for the longest time, we've just kind of expected, hey, Roman's this really good guy now. But if you guys really think about it, and I want you to stop and think for a moment, when did Roman apologize for the things that he did? Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Roman never actually apologized for the things that he did. Roman is still the tribal chief. He is still, you know, the big dog. He is still the guy, and he's letting that be known in the way that he's training Jey, because Jey's finally now coming to the senses, and Jey's finally starting to see everything that Roman was talking about in the first place. Because, you know, hey, Jey won that world championship, and once you get a taste of it, you can't not feel it again. You can't not want it again. You keep wanting it, and you keep wanting it. And that's why Roman was always the head of the table. He's the one that had to carry the torch. He's the one who had to put it on his back. And now, what you're seeing out of Jey Uso is quite literally the same exact thing. And I'm not even exaggerating that. Jey Uso is now on like this warpath when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship, which to me is beyond interesting, right? Because you add Jimmy into the mix, and obviously Jimmy is playing essentially the advocate, the good guy, right? Jimmy's over here and he's talking, he's saying, hey man, you sound like Roman, you don't sound like yourself, what's gotten into you? Obviously, Jey Uso is pissed off at the whole LA Knight situation, but Jimmy Uso is again kind of playing dead center in the middle, like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you being like this? This isn't who you are, this isn't your normal self, and Jimmy's not happy with it. And I actually think, and I'm just going to go ahead and give my quick thoughts on this, I actually think that this storyline, as much as it is centered around Jey and Roman, it actually centers more around Jimmy, as I do think that eventually later down the line, you are going to see Jimmy Uso win that, you know, whether it be an Intercontinental Championship or a United States Championship, one of the two. Ultimately, you are going to see Jimmy Uso get that championship because ultimately good always prevails. And I do think here that Jimmy Uso is going to be that ultimate good guy at the end. And maybe, just maybe, they run him and his brother back at WrestleMania, give them the time that they truly deserve, 20, 25 minutes. Let them go out there. Let them have a stellar match. Let them feud for a little bit. Ultimately, I do think that this leads to not only a Jey Uso heel turn, but also a Jimmy Uso just a little victory lap. Because as much as Jey deserves it, Jimmy truthfully deserves it as well. And where this leaves Roman, I think that's to be seen. And if you guys haven't yet, make sure that you guys tune into my watch along, which will be happening tonight. We will be watching Monday Night Raw together, so definitely make sure you're doing that. But where it leads Roman, not 100% sure. That's another topic for another video, and we'll get into that later. But next, I want to talk about Bayley. Yes, obviously, you guys have seen there's been a lot of things with Bayley as of recent on WWE TV. Her and Lyra Valkyria, what is happening there? Bayley is genuinely losing her mind. And it does look like tonight, not only are we getting Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez, which I do think that maybe in some stretch we are going to get some type of form of Bayley there, but we're also going to see Bayley live. Now, what this leads to is going to be very telling. Ultimately, I do think that it is a Bayley heel turn. Now, if you guys are asking me personally, it's not something that I'm like dead set excited for because okay, here's the thing. I understand what people are trying to get to with the whole Bayley situation. I understand that they like it. I understand that it is different because it really is how they're kind of fusing every single version of Bayley into one singular, what's the word that I'm looking for here? One singular character. It is really cool and it is exciting, but at the end of the day, it's just not for me. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know that'll probably rub some people wrong. But truth be told, I feel like I just got over the Bayley, you know, the heel version of Bayley. And now you're telling me that they're going to run it back. You know, I've always been one to, like, understand, like, hey, heels, when they turn babyface, they normally stay babyface for at least, you know, a solid 2 years. And then eventually you can turn them back or whatever the case is. Regardless of that fact, that doesn't seem like it's going to be the case for Bayley. And it does seem like they may turn her ultimately a little bit sooner than that 2-year mark that I have specifically set. By the way, it's not necessarily the right way to do it. I've just come accustomed to that, and that's what I've built in my mind. So you guys can call me crazy in the comment section below. That's up to you. But ultimately, it's not something that is necessarily for me, but I also do understand why people are so excited for it, and I do think that it is worth looking forward to. So ultimately, you are going to get probably some type of segment between Bayley and Lyra. That will be huge. And the next thing that I want to talk about is Maxine Dupree and Becky Lynch. Yes, they are going to be facing each other one-on-one tonight. I don't know if it's for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. It might be. But regardless of the fact, this all stems from last week. You know, I think Maxine said something along the lines of, you know, nobody really cares about what's happening with Bayley. Again, not 100% sure. Could be completely wrong. But obviously something happened last week, and Becky put her hands on Akira Tozawa, which obviously Maxine was not a fan of. But as you guys know, Maxine has been working really hard, and I think she deserves the credit. And I think it's awesome that she's getting this opportunity, even on just like a regular Monday Night Raw. I do think it's awesome. So we are going to see her and Becky. Now, here's the kicker. Here is the kicker. I actually think that we get some form of AJ Lee in this match. I do think that we do see AJ Lee here because obviously last week in that segment there was a little talk of AJ Lee and stuff like that. And AJ lives rent-free in Becky's head, rightfully so. I do think that we ultimately see AJ Lee in this segment. The reason why I say that is, well, because we're getting CM Punk tonight. Yes, CM Punk is going to be on the show. He is going to be involved, and we are going to find out exactly what it is that is next for CM Punk. Now, if you guys want me to be 100% honest with you and 100% transparent, I do think what's next for CM Punk is the War Games match. But I think here, maybe he is the earliest entrance of the Royal Rumble, entering himself kind of automatically into that Royal Rumble. Which is obviously going to be taking place in Saudi Arabia. So that'll be interesting within itself. But ultimately, we are going to see CM Punk. We don't necessarily know what's next for him, but we do know for 1,000% a fact that we are getting Pepsi Phil. Rightfully so. And CM Punk always seems to make the show just that much better. And again, that's my personal bias, just so everybody knows. I am a CM Punk stan at the end of the day. So I am going to be a little biased when it comes down to that. But ultimately, I do think that we see CM Punk maybe announce that early entrance into the Royal Rumble again, because right now what's happening is Seth Rollins is currently feuding with Cody Rhodes, and I don't necessarily know how CM Punk can stick his nose into that right away. Now, one thing that a lot of people have predicted is that, okay, Seth Rollins, he's going to be involved in the War Games match. I'm not 100% sure if that's true. I'm not dead set on that, because I know a lot of people, myself included, have said like, oh man, there's not going to be, another championship match for the rest of the year, and we won't even see a championship match until the Royal Rumble, which that might not actually be the case. We could ultimately see a championship match at Survivor Series. The likelihood of that happening, I'm not 100% sure, but ultimately it is something that I'm interested in. I'm interested to see if he maybe sticks himself into that Cody and Seth Rollins feud, as I could see that working out in his favor some way, right? Because of his history with Cody Rhodes and obviously the current storyline with Seth Rollins. Ultimately, WWE is going to need something for CM Punk to do, because I do think the end-all, be-all here is for CM Punk and Seth Rollins, Night 2 of WrestleMania. Make the World Heavyweight Championship that A championship for the night. Let that be the main event fully of WrestleMania 42. Again, the likelihood, not 100% sure, but it is something that I would want to see. But yes, guys, that is your preview for Monday Night Raw that is taking place tonight. Again, you guys can check it out. It is going to be on Netflix, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 Pacific, or 7 Central. So definitely make sure that you guys go and check that out. I hope you guys like the little setup that I have going on here. I just kind of turned things around and showed you guys my setup a little bit here. And yeah, I just wanted to try something a little bit different. But ultimately, guys, my name is Billy TKO. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely make sure to hit that like button. And also make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And if you guys would like, you guys can become a member of the channel for as low as $1.99. A cool perk that you receive out of that is you do get my phone number and you are able to personally text me. So if you guys want, definitely become a member. Again, as low as $1.99. Subscribe, like, do all those things. My name is Billy TKO, and I will be talking to you in the next one. Peace.